they couldn't. That didn't say like where is it, but it just was going into the math. This is all the Perplexity did. It's all this math on.
This is Kailasa.
Yeah.
The amount of stone that can be removed every day.
And it just it would have taken. It is even just the 250 people is a fourth of the potential. The number they tried to destroy it with for 3 years. And it has the same tools, I guess. They just said it had some sort of metal. This says 5.5
They
years.
tried to destroy it for 3 years,
That had
and
to
then
have
they
been
just quit.
Really frustrating 3 years.
1,000 guys tried to destroy it for 3 years. You imagine that? That is crazy.
Even if it was 100 and it's just exaggerated, you know?
Right.
They couldn't do anything.
That's really
Chipped
crazy.
off some noses.
You know how mad that king was? He's like, just destroy it.
Imagine what a dick he must have been.
Oh, yeah.
To want to destroy that. This is the problem with kings.
It's the problem with kings.
Good Lord, that's wild.
So, yeah, Cambodia is incredibly mysterious, and nobody talks about Cambodia.
Would you like some coffee?
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. So how did you get involved in Cambodia? What was the first thing that you looked at?
I went there for the first time 3 years ago. It was a quick stopover. We were getting ready to hike the Sandong Cave in Vietnam, you know, the largest cave in the world.
I saw that on 60 Minutes.
Yeah, so we had that trip planned, and I said, well, Cambodia's right next door. Maybe we should just pop over there for a week. So we did, and, you know, walking on these sites, it's the same thing I was talking about earlier. I like to hire local guides just to hear what's the story that they're telling you, what is the official history. And the story that they told me it doesn't match what you see with your own eyes, right? So they say that the earliest civilizations there built in brick, and then they built with stone. Over time, they developed the ability to build with stone. But all of the brick is on top of the stone. It's on top of these massive pyramids, right? So it doesn't make sense that the oldest stuff is at the top. So I started sort of questioning the history of Cambodia. I got into these LiDAR results, which are really fascinating. I mean, they discovered entire unknown cities in Cambodia with LiDAR. So on top of the Kulin Mountains, which is the plateau where they quarry all of the stone for Angkor Wat, all the sandstone, there was an entire massive city on top of that plateau that they had no idea was there. There were pyramids, there were 2,000-acre reservoirs, there were mound fields, there were, you know, massive causeways, and it was all just hidden under the trees, the jungle. So it's, you know, in 2012, sort of the cat was out of the bag in Cambodia. And what's interesting is it should have made international headlines. You know, these spiral embankments that are a mile long on the south side of Angkor Wat, nobody knows what they are. Nobody has a good explanation for what they are. Archaeologists say, you know, maybe it was a garden feature. Maybe it was fishing. And in my mind, you don't build mile-long earthen embankments in a shape of a perfect spiral unless you have a very specific reason for doing that.
What do you think that reason was?
I don't know. I'm starting to put together a theory about, I think it all had to do with water. They were channeling water down from the Kulin Mountains, which is about 50 miles away from Angkor Wat. They were channeling water down, building 16-kilometer diversion channels, taking the water way out of the way, running them through mound fields into these giant reservoirs. All of these reservoirs have pyramids connected to them. And it's one system after another of reservoirs with temples in the middle, pyramids connected to the outside. It feels like a massive industrial undertaking. And I've gone back and forth. Does it have to do with energy? Possibly.